Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. And in today's video, we are going to continue on with our Sarissa 15mm Napoleonic building project. In this video, we're going to be looking at the European church, and we're going to be painting it. Now, I have not glued these roofs down. I've deliberately left them off so that I could use this for maybe other game systems or a storage device. I could put my paintbrushes in there or something. No, seriously. I wouldn't do that. So, the very first thing we want to do is I want to fix the roof color, and I've decided that I'm going to paint my Napoleonic roofs that are going to be the reddish color. I'm going to be painting them with hull red. All right, now because this is a fairly large area, I'm going to use a very large brush. And I mainly want to fix the areas that have the white sticking out. But I, in fact, do want to cover the entire roof with this color. I want it all to blend. And with the flat red primer and the whole red, it looks like it's going on very nicely. Yeah, the flat red primer actually comes out kind of a brick red color, not what you would think. Now, don't forget to paint the edges of your roof. And don't forget to paint the underside of your roof. Like this one was still white. Okay, I'm having a hard time here. Hang on. There we go. Let that down, let that dry for a moment. Now let's try this with the main top here. Okay. Yeah, I'm fixing any of the white overspray when I was spraying the church outside to base coat it, to prime it. The white primer got onto the roof pieces, and it gave them like this little splatter look. Again, I've said this before, but don't forget to paint the sides and the underside. Because if you prime it while it's still on the sprue, sometimes paint won't get down in between. 99% of the time they won't. There you go. That looks good already, to be honest. All right, we're going to let these roof pieces dry before we move on to the next step. All right, and we are back with our European church. Let me go ahead and remove this roof so that I can handle this. Now, what we're going to be doing in this next step is we're going to be using, again, this whole red because it's kind of a brown red. We're going to be using that whole red to paint the bricks. Now, I'm not painting them individually. I'm painting them as a whole. Mainly because I plan, again, I'm going to be painting the, what do I want to call it? The plaster? Yeah, I'll be painting the plaster. So if I go over onto the plaster with the brick color, that'll be fine. I'm also going to individually pick out some bricks with a lighter color. And you can see the dark lines that the white primer has not gotten into all the cracks of the brick. So it really made the bricks stand out. But that will be resolved with some dark wash. I plan to put a dark wash into this brick area. Right now, it might take me a minute to get all of the bricks colored because they're on all sides. So give me a second while I go through and paint all these bricks, and then I'll show you what it looks like so far. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've hit all the brick areas with the whole red. It's a dark red brick color. I will be going back over it once it dries with other colors. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side, let it dry, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back with the church. Now I am going to highlight, or I should say pick out some of these bricks. Now I'm using this color grunge brown. It's kind of a bright reddish, it's kind of a brick reddish brown, so it shouldn't have too much of a contrast, but it should give it a subtle difference. And I'm just going to pick out a few bricks in each of the broken areas. Yeah, kind of like that. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but just to give the bricks a little detail. All right, now let me do all four sides, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I've touched all the openings with a little bit of the grunge brown. Now, I was noticing there's only three sides. There's this side, which is a lot of broken all the way up and down, and then there's this front panel. Then this right in this section, but there's nothing broken on this side, and then there's a little bit broken on the back side. All right, so I'm going to let that dry before we move on to the next step. I can put this away. All right, the next step on this church is I'm going to take this basalt gray and we're going to paint the corners with the basalt. And I'm also, okay, there's the window frames also have stones. So I was thinking about doing basalt on those. but I am planning on using ash and light gray to highlight specific bricks. And I might use those on the window frames instead. But yeah, we are going to go basalt on the corners. All right, now I chose basalt because it's a little bit of a darker gray, but it's not super dark. But it is a darker gray. Choosing this dark gray, it's going to allow me to go in with those lighter grays and pick out and highlight specific bricks. Okay, give me a second while I get all the corners covered in basalt, and then I'll be right back. All right, so we got the gray on all 6 corners, and where the bricks are, the cornerstones. So we're going to let that dry before I do any light gray on this. All right, be right back. All right, guys, we are back we're going to be using light gray, and I'm going to be hitting the cornerstones. Now, I'm going to be doing every other cornerstone. So let me kind of show you what I'm doing here. We'll start with this one. Skip. Okay. Just like that. And then don't forget to do both sides. But remember, pay attention, making sure you get the same one on both sides. Once you get started, it's every other one, so you shouldn't have any problem. Okay, so the cornerstones are going to look a little bit like that. Now I need to do all the cornerstones, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so all the cornerstones on all 6 sides are done. So now I'm going to use the same color, and I'm going to touch the stones around the windows. Okay, and the doorways. I'm really only going to put like a dot. We're working our way around. We hit all the stones around the window. Now that is going to take me a minute. So let me go ahead and do all the windows, and then I'll be right back. All right, so that gets the light gray on the windows, on the door, and the window above the door. We are almost to the final steps on the church. So I'm going to let that sit off to the side and dry before we move on to the next step. All right, so we have finished the European church. There's maybe a couple more things that I want to do to this, but as far as I'm concerned, this building is finished. And now, while I was off camera, I did a little bit of work. One thing I did was I took this white gray and I went around and fixed where I painted the brick. and accidentally painted over the stucco. So I corrected that. And then if there was any fingerprints or loose paint on the model, I went ahead and fixed that by touching it up with some watered down white gray. And then I did a dark wash over the roof panels, the wood supporting the dome, the doors or the door is covered in a dark wash. And then once that dried, I went back over it with a matte varnish, right? So I matte varnished the entire model. And then once all that had dried, I decided that I wanted the dome to have to be painted. And so I hit it up with some dark gray or black, what is it called? Smoke black, right? I did smoke black over the entire dome and cross. And then I hit it with AK brass, which you can see has it looks like brass, right? And then, but based on the pictures that I've seen, it wasn't that gold. It was more like that. So once that was on there and dried, then I put a thin coat of Model Master brass, which you can see there's a difference in these two colors. And so this cross kept the AK brass, and the dome was repainted with Model Master brass. And then that's it. And so now it's done. Now you can see right along the bottom, there is like this, the foundation on this model has a lip that goes all the way around it. I don't think, I've been thinking maybe I want to paint that brown like dirt and then maybe put some grass on there. I actually am thinking about that because then this church could be out in the field or whatever. But I painted it originally this color so it would match the town sector color that it would be sitting in. But I think, like especially on this side that has no damage, I think I want to put some creeper vines going up and maybe some grass, maybe some flowers along the side on both sides. And then I could always leave the front gray, or I could paint it dark brown as well. So I might or might not. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to do a landscaping on this model. Now, again, these roofs do come off, but there's absolutely no reason why I would ever need to remove the roof on these because it's too deep to reach down inside. It's a beautiful church model. I'm planning on using it during my Quatre Bras game. That's why I went ahead and did all these models. And I recommend checking out all my other Sarissa Napoleonic videos where I assemble them and paint them. I did a small series specifically for my Quatre Bras game. So come back and check those out, and I will see you in the next video.